Let's bring you our top international headlines in this edition of Global Lens. US President Donald Trump on Thursday said that the United States will send a representative to participate in talks in Europe on Ukraine this weekend. However, White House said that Donald Trump will only do so if there's good chance of making progress on a ceasefire deal and is unwilling to engage just for the sake of meeting.
Well, there's a meeting on Saturday. We'll see whether or not we attend the meeting. We said we'll attend the meeting if we think there's a good chance of they want me to attend. They want us to attend. And we'll be attending the meeting on Saturday in Europe if we think there's a good chance. And we don't want to waste a lot of time. We think it's negative. We want it to get settled. We want to save a lot of lives. As you know, in the past we spent, could be $350 billion, giving it to Ukraine. We got nothing in return, but we gave it to Ukraine. I ended up getting rare earth in return, even though I didn't spend money. And we are now selling weapons to NATO. We're not selling it to Ukraine. We're selling weapons at full price to NATO, as you know. They distribute those weapons probably to Ukraine for the most part. They're probably doing it to others also. But we're not involved in the war other than the fact that we are involved in a negotiation because people want us there. Ukraine wants us involved very much. Europe wants us involved.
The White House stated that President Donald Trump is extremely frustrated with both Russia and Ukraine over the slow progress toward ending the ongoing conflict. During a press briefing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated the president was tired of meetings that achieved nothing and wanted results, not words, as the US acts as primary mediator to end the 4-year-long running war. Austria has reignited a major debate over religious freedom and children's rights. The country's lower house has now passed a fresh ban on Muslims' headscarves on girls under the age of 14 in schools. Now, the ruling coalition, backed by the far-right Freedom Party, insists the ban is meant to protect young girls from social and cultural pressure. Supporters argue that the headscarf sexualizes minors and is used to shield girls from the male gaze. They claim that this is about safeguarding freedom, not curbing it. But opponents, including the Greens, say the legislation is discriminatory, violates Austria's constitutional requirement of religious neutrality, and specifically targets Muslims. This is not the first time Austria has tried to enforce such a rule. The country's previous headscarf ban covering girls under the age of 10 was struck down by the Constitutional Court in 2020 for being discriminatory. The government says it has now commissioned a new study to justify the renewed ban, but that research is still underway. The controversy is far from over, and the legality of the new ban may soon be tested again in the House of Court. Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone call with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Thursday, during which he reiterated Russia's intention to carry out joint projects in the economy and energy sectors and express solidarity with Venezuela. The call, confirmed by the Kremlin, comes amid ongoing geopolitical tensions, including pressure from the United States on Caracas. The highlighted diplomatic strain in the Western Hemisphere is the direct result of American strikes in the Caribbean Sea on the premise of targeting alleged drug cartels emanating from Venezuela, a charge Maduro has since denied. Nobel Peace Prize laureate and Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said she planned to take her award back to Venezuela but declined to say on Thursday when she would return to her home country after leaving in great secrecy to receive this honor. She added that the Donald Trump administration's actions have been decisive in weakening the regime in Venezuela. Our next report tells you more about it.
Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Corina Machado said on Thursday she planned to take her award back to her home country, Venezuela, after leaving in great secrecy to receive the honour. The 58-year-old opposition leader left Venezuela for Oslo in defiance of a decade-long travel ban imposed by authorities, and after spending more than a year in hiding.
My duty was to come and collect this award to bring it back to the Venezuelan people, and soon I will bring it back to Venezuela.
When Machado won the prize in October, she dedicated it in part to US President Donald Trump, whose administration argues Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has links to criminal gangs. That's something Maduro denies, instead accusing Washington of seeking regime change to control Venezuela's oil. The US has ordered more than 20 military strikes in recent months against alleged drug trafficking vessels in the region, and Trump said the US had seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela on Wednesday.
The regime is using the resources, the cash flows that come from illegal activities, including the black market of oil, not to give food for hungry children, not for teachers who earn $1 a day, not to hospitals in Venezuela that do not have medicine or water, not for security. They use those resources to repress and persecute our people, to buy arms, to infiltrate the military or movements, to pay for those that commit crimes and repression, to maintain our friends and colleagues in prison.
Earlier, Machado greeted dozens of supporters in Oslo. She was barred from running in the presidential election in Venezuela last year, despite having won the opposition's primary by a landslide. A UN fact-finding mission report released on Thursday said Venezuela's Bolivarian National Guard committed serious human rights violations and crimes against humanity over more than a decade against political opponents. In Norway, Machado said Maduro's rule will come to an end and there was a need to prepare for a transition, but that she would return to Venezuela regardless of when Maduro goes out.
A gas explosion set off a major fire in a Hayward neighborhood on Thursday. 6 people were taken to hospitals for injuries. Fire officials have said that. The incident happened around 9:30 a.m., just hours after a construction crew damaged a gas line. Dramatic footage captured showed a large excavator being used to dig in front of the home that exploded as a worker stood nearby. Within moments then, a massive explosion and flames blew out the walls and the roof of the home. 2 homes were impacted by the explosion and fire, and a workshop in the back of one of them. Another home has got some damage on the side facing the explosion.